Yo, what's going on, everybody? Collision Weeks here. Welcome to our first offensive guide here of Madden 25. Today, guys, we're going to be breaking down the run and gun playbook. Now, my primary formations in this offense are going to be tight flex. We're going to be running trips tight end, obviously. And then we also have spread and the doubles, not to be confused with like a doubles flex or anything like that, just doubles. So guys, today I want to go over these four formations. We're going to start here with the tight because this formation has like the least amount of plays. I don't run it all the time, but still definitely some nice highlights in here that I want to point out. Then we'll go ahead and talk about spread and end with trips tight end. If you guys want to skim through, I will have timestamps. If they don't appear on the video, they will be pinned in the comment section. So let's go ahead and begin. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. Alrighty guys, so to begin here in the tight flex, first I want to go over PA read. We're going to be running this with our running back to the short side of the field, and we're going to go ahead and do this against cover 2 to begin. Now, with this play, guys, all I'm doing is I'm going to put my far side receiver X here on a corner, and then I'm going to go ahead and put B on a flat. I know he is already on a flat, but I don't want him to block with that blue route. Basically, what we're going to have here is a high-low on each side, so if they come out in that cover 2, we'll be able to take the underneath if they're in a cloud, and if they're in a hard flat, we'll be able to hit over the top. And then, of course, you know, if we see that safety wants to kind of head over to the sideline to follow Lamb, we can go ahead and hit our tight end as well down the middle. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the tight end down the middle to begin, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the other routes. Ferguson isn't the fastest, but we're still able to go ahead and split the defense and get past the middle linebackers. Obviously, if the user wants to play that, like I said, guys, you're going to have your outside options. So let's go ahead and I'll shade over the top here just to make sure the clouds play. And let's say they go ahead and kind of gravitate more upfield. We can go ahead and dump it underneath to our running back or our flat, whatever you guys want to do. And if they decide to come out in a hard flat cover 2, we can go ahead and hit our corner or our crosser here by Y. So to begin, I'll go ahead and show you. Here's the hard flat. We can go ahead and throw this to Brandon Cooks here on his crosser. And then at that same area of the field on the opposite side, you're going to have CeeDee Lamb on his corner route. So I'll go ahead and show this one more time, then we'll go ahead and move on. I'm on a hard flat again, just so you guys know. It's a hard flat cover 2. When we see this, if we can see that we can fit this underneath that safety, as I accidentally hit B instead of X. But if we see that safety, maybe he's playing more inside with that post, we can go ahead and hit our corner and, you know, basically we're just trying to dodge that safety. Just throw opposite of wherever he's going. So right here, we can try freeform down at this area of the field and try and make a catch. But like I said, if that bomb's there with your tight end, please take it. There may just be certain adjustments where that corner is going to be your option. So I don't want to sit on PA read too long against cover 2. Just want you guys to see all of the available options here to start. Let's go ahead and move on to PA read versus cover 3 and cover 4. Alrighty, guys. Now, PA read against cover 3 and cover 4. These are going to be the drop variants, so I'm going to have cover 4 my audibles here, cover 3 as the stock play. Guys, against cover 3 and cover 4, we're going to want our running back on the far side of the field. So I'm going to go ahead and stay on this right hash, but I'm going to have my running back to the left, and we're going to start here against cover 3. Now, for this setup, boys, all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put X here on a streak. We're going to go ahead and table our running back. I like having my running back on a table with the crosser, just so you guys remember how this setup is supposed to look. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and put our B receiver on a corner. So this is what your play art's going to look like here. We're going to try and hit Cooks with the deep post and have the Tolbert corner pull down the outside third on the short side of the field. So we'll go ahead and snap it. If you have to block your running back, you can. But right now, with no KOs, anything like that, I am finding success with this. I do like it. But just know, if you guys are watching this later in the season, please try this in practice mode before you just go out and attempt it, because it may play a little differently. So I'll go and show this again. I do feel like that first one was a kind of poor representation. If you need to, you can also do a stem post if you want him to get a little more depth against that, against the outside third on the right. So if you want, you guys can go ahead and stem Y a little more upfield, so it looks like that. And then we can go ahead and snap it. Like I said, if you have to block your running back, you can. But what we're looking for is this ball right here. And right now, if you guys are playing head-to-head with velocity abilities, this is going to be even easier. But right now in MUT, no KOs, no velocity abilities. This will still get you that bomb. And this is also going to work against cover 4. So if they go ahead and play a cover 4 here, we can do the same exact setup again with the streak, the table, and then the corner. So it's going to look like this. And you guys are going to see we're going to be able to bomb this over the top as well. just going to have to wait a little longer and then go ahead freeform it to the right. Obviously, there, like I said, you have to wait a little longer. It can beat cover 4. You just need a bit more time. And what's nice about this play as well is we are going to have our flood here going to the wide side of the field, which, you know, if we know that they're in a cover 3 or cover 4 and they're in the purples, we're going to be able to hit this, you know, pretty early underneath. And then if they have like a hard flat, let's say they're in a cover 3 hard flat, which is a very common defense we're seeing right now just because of the switch stick, we know that we can also go ahead and avoid their switch stick and go ahead and hit this crosser here by the tight end. So obviously just pay attention to what your opponent is switch sticking to when you're running something like this. What's nice is we have options on both sides of the field, the left and the right, so we can kind of maneuver and make our throw, make our judgment based off the opponent's input. So hopefully you guys enjoy this setup. Let's go ahead and move on to the next play. All right, guys, now going up against zero blitzes, mainly here the 2-4 double mug zero blitz. What we're going to do for this setup is we're going to go ahead and run wide receiver cross with our running back on the short side of the field. We're going to go ahead and put our X receiver on a post here and leave the mesh with Y and A. Now, we need to block somebody against this pressure. So what I like to do here is I like to go ahead and motion this wheel to the left side of the field. Once he gets to this left side of the field, guys, we can actually put him on a pass blocking assignment. So with that in mind, we can go ahead and slide to the right, make sure, you know, we're IDing just to ensure that we have that protection. But now we're able to block 6, and we also have man beating routes all over the field. Now, what's nice about this play, and I want to say this real quick before we snap it, is when you block extra people against man coverage, the man assignment defender will typically drop back into a zone coverage. Sometimes he'll match to a certain route, or sometimes they'll just sit in a QB spy. So each formation is kind of different, and also the routes you have on the field are different. So please experiment with that if you guys are trying to change these routes, and just pay attention to, you know, the guy who was guarding Tolbert and what he's doing now. But for this play, we're still going to be able to hit our post down the middle. We're also still going to be able to hit our running back here on the outside because no zone will go in that direction. So right here, obviously, our drag gets wide open. We're going to hit that every single time if the user isn't there. Our running back is going to get open, extremely consistent over the top on the left side of the field. So again, go ahead and bring this receiver over. We can go block him. I like to slide away from the receiver and then ID the guy in front of the block receiver. Make sure you guys are doing your pass protections last, because if you do all of your pass protections and then you start changing routes, that can actually sometimes glitch your protection and reset it. So we want to make sure we do our protection last. But we'll go ahead and snap again. Make sure we buy ourselves some time right here. 35-year-old Ezekiel Elliott getting over the top of the defense without a problem. And then, of course, you know, you're going to have your tight end. Hopefully your tight end has a little bit of wheels on him. If he doesn't, though, the drags are still just really good. So I don't think you're going to have that much of a problem. But you guys are going to see here, CeeDee Lamb is going to just absolutely decimate his defender, and we can just go ahead and hit him with a little touch pass over the top and easily go get 7. So again, you know, your drags are going to be great. You know, this is given they're not running the double hard flat on each defensive end. Before we move on from this, I do want to talk about the guy who was guarding Tolbert. You guys see it's going to be this defender right here, 22 Phillips. You guys see when we snap the ball and he sees that Tolbert's not on a route, he just ends up sitting into, oh, I'm sorry, it's actually number 3. You guys see he just sits into like kind of a vertical hook, and then he obviously just reacts to the throw. So just know if you were to block a running back, maybe the manned up defender on the running back, he may drop into like a middle third. Okay, so I'll just run this real quick just so you guys see it, so we don't have to you know, just so you guys get an idea, then we'll move on. I do apologize. Just want you guys to see this in action. So we block our running back here. You guys see the guy covered to the running back. He drops into a middle third, and we can't throw our post. So I just wanted this to get out there so you guys know when you're going up against man, what to look out for with who you're blocking and who you're putting on routes. So hopefully you guys enjoy this setup. Let's go ahead and move on. Alrighty, guys, and then finally here for the tight flex, like I said, I don't run this formation much, but for our kind of zone beater, kind of our everything safe play, base play type of thing, it's going to be PA post shot. Now, for the setup, we're going to go ahead and have our running back on the far side of the field. So again, I'm on the left hash. I'll go ahead and do random play here on 3-3. What we're going to do, boys, for this setup, your running back, you can put him on anything. You guys can put him on any route or block him. It's completely up to you. But all we're going to do is go ahead and just drag our wide receiver and have the play pretty much just like this. So you guys see the B crosser. It's pretty short, but it's high enough to give ourselves a high-low on the short side of the field. And then, of course, we have X as our pulling route. I know he is a post. It seems like we might want to hit him. Nah, he's just going to go pull those deep zones upfield and keep them upfield while we go ahead and hit underneath. So right here, they come out and, I mean, some type of garbage cover 3 blitz, but I probably should have waited for that to develop a little more. My apologies. But really, for what this play is, it's a very nice quick snap play where all we're doing is putting our guy on a drag. And then, we're just seeing, what the weak point of the defense is. If you want to put your running back on something, you can. That's completely optional. A table route might not be the best choice because you already have a drag in that direction. But if it's something that will help, pull the user away, we can obviously take advantage of that and try to hit the other side of the field where the user is now gone. So, feel free to kind of experiment and kind of mess around with this. But for me, against zone, I find a lot of success just double dragging and having that B crosser. Like right here, if we want to play around with the running back, try and put him on something to keep the user away from the underneath, we can go and get our easy little chunk yards with what the defense has given us. So I know it's not the sexiest play, but it's just one of those plays that works. It's safe. It's not really stretching the field too much. And I mean, against most coverages, you're bound to find something, whether it's one of the drags or the crosser late in the play. And then, if you have a mobile quarterback, you can always take off as well. What's nice about this is it is sending pretty much all of our routes to the sideline, which can allow our, the middle to get open for the QB run. So, just kind of take what the defense gives you. You guys see here pretty consistently every single play against random play, I can hit somebody and he's going to be pretty open. So if you guys enjoyed it, good. This is going to be it for tight flex, though. I know it's nothing too crazy, just a handful of plays, but still wanted to get this in here. Now let's go ahead and talk about spread and double. The first thing I want to talk about with spread, guys, is if you want to, you can leave all these 4 receivers. You guys see here in this spread, you actually have 4 receivers, not a tight end. This is going to limit your audibles significantly. So if you want, please consider putting a tight end here at this running back side slot. You guys see you can put Ferguson here, your tight end, and you can also put running backs, but just based off whatever other formations you like, you may want that tight end so you can audible to it. So if we go and put Ferguson in this slot, now we can audible to trips tight end. We can even audible to doubles because the tight end is on the line. If we just left 4 receivers, I think spread right here with 4 receivers is going to be the only formation we have with that type of personnel. So just keep that in mind going forward. So guys, to begin, I want to talk about flanker dig. This was one of my favorite plays in Madden 24, and this year it's still just as good. One thing that I do a little differently, though, is with this play this year, I want to go ahead and do a stem route on the wheel rather than messing with the X receiver. So if I go ahead and come out here and cover 3, I actually want my running back on the short side, so I'm going to go here to the right hash. But what we're going to do to get underneath the deep zones this year with the wheel is we're going to go ahead and put Y here on a stemmed route wheel. Now, right now it's glitched because I have 2 controllers, but you guys see when I go and stretch this out a little bit, he's going to run more to the flat, which is going to allow this S route from Lamb to keep that zone guy upfield before Cooks cuts upfield. So just to give you guys an example, this is the stemmed version, and we can go ahead and just freeform. Okay, well, we got absolutely shedded. But if I were to show you guys this, for example, if I do, let's say, a hard flat, right, just to make it a little easier on the eye to see, if I were to do a stock wheel here, I don't adjust it, and I try and throw this ball, it's too close for comfort, at least for me. Like, yeah, we're able to fit it in there, but if we go ahead and stem this out a little further, like you guys see right here, this is going to help us out a lot. So if we go ahead and shade underneath again with the cover 3, you guys are going to see we're able to put this in such an easier place where nobody's at. So usually, like in Madden 24, what I would do is I would go ahead and put X here on a post, and in Madden 24, those posts ran way like further up, something like this. So that's what I would do. But with this year's game, I go ahead and just stem the wheel instead. You can kind of do both, but please just do the wheel. The wheel is much more consistent. But with that in mind, the rest of the play, what we're going to be doing here is the setup is going to be to stem out Y. You're going to go ahead and streak your tight end, and you're going to go ahead and put B here on a drag. Against cover 3, everything is going to get wide open. I am going to do a hard flat cover 3 just because that's what I see the most of, but I'll obviously show it without it. But hard flat cover 3, gentlemen, everything is wide open. We can throw X here as I accidentally lobbed it. My apologies. X in between those 2/3 is going to dominate. You also have your tight end here on the streak, which is going to kind of help keep that safety in kind of the middle of the field. That way we can just laser this over and possession it. The deep zone dropbacks this year are terrible right now, so these throws are just pretty much free. And then, like I said, we're going to have our underneath options as well. We'll go ahead and throw Y here against a purple. You're just going to need a little bit of time as the practice mode sheds just don't allow it. But we'll go ahead and keep running this a few more times. That way you guys can see. We'll go ahead and snap the ball here. Go ahead, hit our wheel here to the left side. Obviously, velocity ability will help. It's just not that time. I don't know if I stemmed him that play. I think that's why it looked a little tight. But we got some options, boys. We got some options. Go ahead and show you guys the table here and the drag. Go ahead, hit our table route, get an easy 5. And then, what's nice about that drag is if the user wants to play the seam with the tight end, or if the user even wants to play like the S route, this drag is going to be left wide open if no user is at this area of the field. So we can go ahead and throw that like right there at that portion, typically right there with the shade underneath. Those vertical hooks play phenomenal. But, with everybody using zone drops with the user peeling off, you guys are going to see at some point in the middle of the field, this drag is going to get open given the user is actually usering. If they want to play the D-line, that's great. We can literally throw everything else inside of this play. I don't really hit my tight end too much just because he is on the short side, and that can make it a little scarier because the user on the short side is just so good at literally covering multiple routes. That's why I try to keep the tight end going high, give me some underneath options, not everything in just the seam. So that's what I try to look at here against cover 3. Against cover 4, guys, we can do literally the same exact setup. Like I said, the zone drops, or not the zone drops, but the drop back for some of these deep zones are just really poor. And we're going to be able to take advantage of that with this drag and with the S route, with the tight end pulling, and even with the wheel here on the far side of the field. So try and show this again so you guys see it's just a little nudge out with the wheel. I didn't audible to cover 4 there, so I'll just go fit this in, and then we'll audible again. I know this is kind of taking up a little bit of time, but still, I just want to make sure it's all mentioned and covered so you guys know what to expect as you are using this play. So here it is against cover 4. Going to go ahead, step up here, and you guys see we're just going to go ahead freeform down. And that safety on that inside quarter on the left, he just keeps dropping back. He doesn't play the S route, and this will be the same exact thing you see in game. So if you guys want, like I said, you can still hit your wheel. I accidentally did him a little too far. It's so hard to tell where it's going to go when the menu's glitched here in MUT, or in practice mode, I mean. But here is your wheel against cover 4. You guys are going to see you can really just fit this in right here on the left side. I probably could have thrown that a little sooner, knowing that it's a cover 4, how that purple's going to play. But just know it's still an option. I still like them. I'm going to quit, blabbering on this play so you guys don't lose your mind. But just follow the timestamps if you guys want to check this out. I actually will. I actually am going to keep going because I want to show it against cover 2 with the same setup. But it's going to be the same exact thing against cover 2, guys. And with cover 2, honestly, it's really probably a little better because you have X here on the deep bomb down the middle, and then one move and you could go potentially get 7. That wheel is also going to help kind of keep those deep zones to the left side of the field. So please just know cover 2 is going to shine with this as well. And I do like to keep this wheel still on that, stemmed out option for us, just so he gets more depth. But you guys see down the middle against cover 2, it's going to be really good as well. And you have your underneath. If they want to give you the underneath, please take it. But as for flanker dig, I'm going to quit flapping my gums. That was it. Thank you for your patience. All right, guys. Now, against cover 3 and cover 4 drop, I want to talk about bombs here with deep attack. So what we're going to be doing here for this setup is we're going to be running deep attack with our running back on the short side. So I have my I have the ball placement on the right hash. Guys, for this setup, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put B here on a drag, and we're going to put X on a comeback. Finally, we're going to go ahead and put Y here on a post. Now, against cover 3, you don't have to stem it. But against cover 4, we're going to do the same exact setup, but we are going to stem it. Just for the sake of this, I am going to go ahead and stem my Y post upfield. So you guys see I go ahead and just stretch that up a little more. It's kind of glitched right now because I have 2 controllers in practice. But with this, we're going to be able to bomb cover 3 and cover 4 as long as we get just a little bit of time. I know it's not the sexiest write-up. I know that we're relying on the user to pull down on a drag, but it works. It works. And if the user if he doesn't see it coming, or if his user just sucks, this is going to be a great play for us. So that was it against cover 3. This is it against a cover 4. Like I said, we're going to go ahead, stem Y up a little bit, something like that, and then go ahead, pair this with a drag and a comeback. We'll go ahead, snap the ball here, and against cover 4, if we just get a little bit of time, we're going to be able to go ahead and freeform this kind of down and out in this area of the field above the outside quarter, and we get ourselves a nice little chunk play. Is it going to be a bomb? Honestly, you could probably get a touchdown if you had wheels at tight end, if you have a fast tight end, but Jake Ferguson isn't really that type of guy yet, so no touchdown. But, like I said, this can work really well. I know some people might say, Collision, why can't we just run this out of like deep attack because we already have the post, or PA comeback rather. I really like the post here from deep attack with the tight end. You won't get that same post here if you go ahead and just put him on a hot route. I guess it could work. It's kind of up to you guys, but for me, I'm going to keep using deep attack, but just know it's personal preference, but I'm going to go with what I know. If we go ahead, snap this here, and you guys see the comeback in the scissor, you guys see it still is going to work. It's actually going to work on both sides, which is nice. So like I said, it's really your personal preference, but for me, I run deep attack. That's just what I do, but I'm sure there's going to be some scenario where I want to use this combo and have bombs on both sides of the field. So completely up to you. I'll go ahead and throw Y here. Definitely going to want to put your running back on something on this play, just so the user, I guess it doesn't matter because both sides are getting open. The user can pick his poison, but still. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. And guys, here is deep attack as well against cover 2. Forgot to mention that. So guys, all you're going to do for this setup is just drag X and go ahead and streak Y. And this play is really dope because B has this fade route, this old school Madden fade, which is going to be able to beat cover 2. So what we're going to see here is Y. He's going to go ahead and pull that left side deep half, allowing our tight end to get open underneath that. And then, we just lay his ass out. We can go and get 7. But we're also going to have on the right side of the field, the fade that's going to be able to get over top of the cloud and outside of the deep half. So it's going to look something like this. Basically just going to snap. Once he passes the face of the corner, we're just going to go ahead and freeform this outside to the sideline. We're playing for the possession catch. If the safety is really creeping into the post by the tight end, you could potentially get a rack, but, yeah, you can rack it. There you go. Go ahead and get 7 on both sides of the field. It's going to be great. But still, this fade is amazing against cover 2. And it's so nice to have this in a formation because we cannot hot route these anymore. We haven't been able to do it for the last few years. So these are deadly, deadly routes, and it's amazing having one in this formation, in this playbook as an option for us. I'll go ahead and show you guys the tight end one more time. What's nice about this play is there's no stemming that we have to worry about, so we just have to give ourselves a little bit of time for the play to develop and then go ahead and step up and make a throw. And it's great. It's great. You're going to be able to beat cover 2 on both sidelines, just like we did with cover 3, and not like we did with cover 4, but we're able to beat everything here at a deep attack. It's really good play, very versatile. Hope you guys enjoyed these setups. Let's go ahead and move on to the next play. Alrighty, guys, now talking about double mug here against spread. This may be a problem for some of you guys. It was a problem for me at the start of the year trying to block mid blitz out of a 2x2. Struggle with it a bit, but now finally feel like I got something I like. Want you guys to have it too. So again, running back on the short side for this play. You don't have to for this setup, but we'll just say it just for the sake of the discussion. Fellas, all we're going to do is go ahead and bring in CeeDee Lamb. He's going to get right behind Y here. This is what we want. We're going to go ahead and put Y here on a corner. We're going to go ahead corner our tight end and drag B. Finally, we're going to go ahead and full slide opposite of the running back, okay? Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and ID the running back side pass rusher and block our running back. I know it's a lot of adjustments, but we can get them. We can get them down. It's just a motion, a corner, a drag, and block. We can do it. Big trust. Guys, with this, we are able to pick up the blitz, and we're going to have man-beating routes absolutely everywhere. Now, like I said earlier, we have to keep in mind, whoever's manned up to the running back, where is he going to go, right? We're going to go and snap this ball. We see it's the safety. He's kind of staying kind of in the middle third. Now, what's nice about him being in the middle third is this S route won't take long to cross him and beat it. So we'll go ahead and put Cooks back in place. Let me throw this away real quick just so it's quicker. But you guys are going to see when I snap this again, that middle third is going to backpedal so far back and completely away from the rest of the team that we are going to be able to just kind of throw this in the middle of the field, given like that will be his user. If it's not, we know that he's going to drop back into coverage, but this still will be his user. But if he did want to leave him in a stock, we can just go ahead and pass lead this down and kind of to the sideline, kind of like at a 45-degree going down and right, and we're still able to fit this in. Just know that is going to be his user. He will be hovering, so it's going to look something like this. Let me actually set up the blitz. I did that in my college video, and I'm thinking that that's going to like translate. But what we're going to do, again, is just slide, full slide to the left, and then ID the running back side pass rusher. You have to do this last, guys, because like I said, if I go ahead and make adjustments now, look, my middle linebacker is set to the left side A-gap blitzer. I don't want that. Now the outside pass rusher is the hot. So I need him to be mic'd before I snap this play. So right here, it could also just be kind of a graphic glitch because practice mode just fucking blows. But here's our play art. You guys see we're going to be able to pick this up, and practice mode just doesn't want the ID guy to be to be the outside rusher. So like I said, it's very, very important you do your hot routes before you go about pass protecting, because it can completely dumb out your pass protection. So we'll go bring the safety down, full slide. ID should look like this. Block your running back, and I maybe practice mode's just bugged right now. I don't know why I can't ID him, but typically we would be able to in game. Just know practice mode, it's bugged. We're not going to be able to pick them up. But with this all in mind, you know, we're going to have our routes all over the field, where in game our running back is going to be able to chip him, and we can just throw opposite. So let's say in game we know that Zeke is actually going to be able to ID to this guy. That's going to allow our drag to get open if the user wants to play the left side. And then you guys see Ferguson here with his slow ass is getting open to the sideline. And then, like I said, guys, this S route does a really good job against man, especially because he's breaking in with that guy playing off. And then we just have this inside advantage. You're going to want to watch the user with a route like this. If we see that he's going to the middle, like I said, we can attack the low middle or the outside here. So, like I said, in game with that full slide to the left and that ID to the right, you're going to be able to pick him up. I guess my practice mode is just a little bugged right now, just like every other video. But that's how I'm going about mid blitz right now with 2x2. Now, finally, guys, before we wrap up spread, I want to talk about angle smash. Now, this is actually going to be in the doubles formation, so this is going to have our tight end on the line. I don't have like a whole bunch of stuff in doubles. I think I have like one more play after this. Typically, I am in spread, but if I need to, I can go ahead and audible to doubles and call a play out of it. So to start, I want to talk about angle smash. This is going to be similar to our play earlier with the post shot, where it's kind of just a quote-unquote everything beater. I can go and run random play here. All we're going to be doing, fellas, is streaking X, and then we're going to put our tight end here on a drag, and then we're going to go ahead and put B here on a post. So this is going to be your play art. Really what we're looking for here is just kind of the tight end early. He snaps the ball. We're going to be able to go ahead and hit the drag underneath. And what's nice about this is this can pull your zones, your opponent's zones, to kind of the middle of the field with that drag. And what's nice about that is that's going to allow our running back to get open kind of right here in the seam. Now, right there, he didn't do much of a good job to pull those zones, but you guys know what I mean. If a user is playing that right side middle linebacker and he wants to drop back into coverage, or he wants to, you know, play the tight end, sorry for the plane in the background, but if that is, you know, a problem, you'll just be able to hit your tight end later if he's trying to cut back on the running back. So right here, drag, it's wide open. Right there, the coverage is definitely playing off, so we can't hit our corner. If they if they are in a more underneath coverage, like right here, let's see what they're in. They're in cover 3. If they want to play a hard flat, right, we'll be able to go ahead and hit our corner here on the left side of the field. So we'll go ahead and step up here, get a little free form outside, easy possession catch. And, you know, like I said, if they are in a certain cover 3, I'll go just audible here to cover 3 drop. Sometimes this post can literally get wide open, which is great. I wouldn't say this is like a guaranteed throw every single time, but if we go ahead and just freeform this a little to the left to kind of just cut off the receiver from running any further, this can be a nice dot for us. So it's just one of those plays, guys, that I like to have. It can be a nice base play against kind of anything. Right here, we'll try and go ahead and throw this over the top again. Right there, I don't know if they were in some type of inverted cover 2, but we're able to get deep down the middle. And we just kind of have options all over the board. We have high options, we have low options, we have kind of intermediate outside options like our corner route. It's just one of those plays that are really nice to have in your play call sheet. So guys, that was angle smash. Finally, before we move on, I want to talk about PA zone read here out of doubles against quarters. So let me go ahead and select quarters here. I think I have to go to 2-4. So we're going to go ahead and run quarters here against he a zone read, and again, this is going to be with your running back on the short side. So guys, with this setup, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and motion CD Lamb to the inside of the field. He's going to stop right here inside the seam, and then we're going to go ahead and drag our tight end, and then your running back, you can block him, you can do whatever you'd like. This is what your play art's going to look like. And then once we snap the ball, you guys see we're going to be able to hit X here towards the back end of the play. You're just going to want to make sure you freeform that to the sideline. Sometimes I noticed early in the year, at least, this quarters guy can kind of catch up. We've seen this in some post routes in years past against certain man coverages or match coverages. So you just want to make sure you are freeforming this. I know some guys might just pass lead it. I would, like right there, we go ahead and hit him with the freeform. That's going to kind of guarantee that you're able to get that extra step in front of him and just, lock in that possession catch. And then, also you're going to have a great route here by Y that's going to get open late in the play where literally nobody is going to be in that area of the field to cover him. So this is kind of going to be the same for the tight end on the drag as well. So you're going to have two underneath options. So we go ahead and do this one more time. Go ahead, drag our tight end, block our running back. Play art looks like this. Snap the ball. And then you guys see if we can survive late in the play, we can go ahead and throw this. And we're usually going to be able to get a few yards out of it. Is it the best option? No, but it's still there for us. And, if the user wants to go follow Y and you can't hit him, we're going to have something. So right here, we'll go ahead and try to stay alive for a moment. Y got bumped like crazy. Y is usually going to get open on that kind of low right side of the field. And it's just a nice little simple option that I like to run. Nothing too crazy, no type of, big bomb play or anything like that. But it's just something that we have that we know can beat cover 4 quarters and have some options underneath. And then, kind of, take whatever the defense gives us. Watch the user, see where he wants to go with it. Try and go ahead and throw Y here again. Right there, we get pressure with the 4-man rush. But you guys see nice little options here on both sides of the field. Nothing too deep, nothing too crazy. And just a nice little simple play we can write up. Alrighty guys, now for trips. This is probably going to be the biggest part of this video. Guys, to start, again, I want to talk about zero mid-blitz specifically, or with trips. So the play we're going to be running here is going to be cross under. You can find this more at the bottom of the play sheet. Guys, really all we're going to do for this setup is just put Y here on a drag and just create a mesh. Now, I will kind of towards the end of the video put an example because I don't know why. For some reason, I don't know if it's a practice mode bug. I can't use pass protections, and it's not even like a graphical error. So I'll make sure to actually show you guys an in-game example, and I'll leave a timestamp so you guys can see. I'm still going to tell you what to do. So if the opponent is setting up the blitz here with the safety man up to the running back, if you guys don't know how to do it, you're going to go ahead and pinch your D-line, and then you're going to go ahead and slant inside with your D-line and then user here. Now, what we're going to do to stop this blitz, just like we did against doubles, is we're going to go ahead full slide away from the running back. And remember, we're going to do this after setting up our adjustment. So we're going to go ahead, drag, then we're going to full slide opposite of the running back. And then we're going to go ahead and ID this defensive end here that's hot. You guys see my ID stays on the middle linebacker in practice mode. This does not happen in game, okay? I'm going to go ahead and leave an example, like I said, later in the video for this as of now, because I can't find a workaround to this right now. I'm just going to go ahead and put the stock play here just like so, okay? So just know it's not the actual like setup blitz. It's just the, this guy playing off the line. So like I said, we will show that later, but just wanted to give you guys what these routes look like anyway. You guys see the meshes do a great job as right there. Dak Prescott, I think, is the only quarterback in the game that could probably miss on a blue pass. But right here, tight end always gets a really good burst of speed off the line and trips. That's really going to help out against man, especially since that safety plays off, or the corner rather. And listen, if B gets a good step off the break, we can go ahead and kind of just freeform this down and kind of on the inside of the receiver. That way only he can catch it, and this is going to be a really good route for us too. Y's drag does good as well. You just got to watch out for the user. Where I like the Y drag is the X dig. If the user wants to play that, that's when your Y is going to get wide open. So let's say the user wants to go and play X. That's when we're going to go ahead and have our Y receiver later in the play. And, with the pass protection, I know the block sheds are still going to be quick, but we'll still be able to, more likely have time when we're setting up the full protection for this play. So again, I will show that later. Here is your dig. If the user wants to stay underneath, you're going to have that. And we're going to have some other plays in here as well. So this isn't going to be just like the only one. And you can also go back to the spread, and you guys can go back to, all of our other formations that we talked about it as well. Now guys, up next against zero, I want to talk about curl flat. Now I will be running this again against just the stock mid blitz. For this setup, guys, what we're going to be doing is instead of sliding our running back and doing all the pass protection like so, we're going to go ahead and motion snap one of our receivers. Now for this play, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and drag B and put X here on a post. And then finally, I like to go ahead and put my running back here on a table. You can leave him on the Texas if your opponent, if you feel like you can beat your opponent doing that. I personally like him on the table route because, you know, if I know that he's on that table and he's playing that, no one's playing deep down the middle. So our protection for this play is going to be a motion snap receiver. And we're going to go ahead and snap this ball when the receiver kind of gets right in between the center and the left guard. That way he picks up that linebacker and we're able to attack deep down the middle with our X receiver. Now, again, we can kind of play around here. With our routes, we can kind of explore different options. But like I said, you just want to make sure, you know, if you want to keep this deep option, that the user stays away from it. So that's why I really like to drag in the table. I know that, you know, there's a lot of responsibility at this part of the field where if the user doesn't play underneath with his mid blitz setup, then we're going to be able to attack him there. And you guys see when we go ahead and motion right there, I missed the throw there, but there's going to be kind of a man assignment switch, and that's going to allow our tight end on the corner to get open. So, you know, this is going to be very, very versatile against, you know, against your opponents. We're going to have a lot of receivers we can hit here. I know Fred or Ferguson isn't the quickest, but, you know, if you guys have an Evan Ingram or even just kind of a better tight end who's able to kind of, you know, catch the ball with maybe a little bit of contact, this is going to be a really good option for you. So again, I want to go ahead and show this this drag paired with the post again. I think my graphics are glitched. There you go. So go ahead and snap the ball. And you guys see we're going to have, you know, our drag here would be just a little simple, you know, option underneath. But really, when you mix this in with our previous setup, we're going to be able to beat this zero blitz somehow. And, you know, as long as you're patient and you don't force a throw, you guys are, you're going to be able to beat this over time. So just be patient with it and just take what the defense gives you. Like right there, we almost get the bomb, but we get pressured. Guys, that's going to happen. So be patient with it. Let the plays develop. Don't become discouraged just because it is a hard blitz to go against. And like I said earlier, just keep mixing up your formations. And, you know, if you know you can go to spread and that will help you out against man or against zero more specifically, bounce around and make sure you guys are audibling to it. Like I said, if you guys want to have if you guys come out and spread, you can audible here to the trips tight end as long as you have a tight end at one of those receiver positions. I like to put them on the running back side slot. It's completely up to you. Just know that's how we're going to be able to keep our playbook open and beat a lot of these man blitz spammers. Alrighty guys, another one of my kind of go-to base plays is going to be flood. Now with flood, I'm kind of going to be targeting this against zone, but it's still pretty decent against zero. It's just not really what I would be calling against it specifically. So I've kind of just set up here my audibles of some common coverages. Cover 3 here, guys, what we're going to be doing for really all of these setups, like I said, this is kind of one of my base plays, is we're going to go ahead and put Y here on a slant, and then we're going to put our running back here on a table. Basically, what this is going to give us is, like we were saying earlier, it's going to give you that high, low, but it's also going to give you that route that's kind of in between them, and that's where I see that slant. It's kind of that route that has that depth in between that deep crosser, and obviously, you know, higher than a flat or a table. So you guys are going to see here against the cover 3, you know, always take the underneath if it's an option. You know, right here we see that purple kind of shaded a little more underneath, so we're able to take our flat. But if he wants to kind of gravitate upfield, obviously you're going to want to dump it off to your running back. You know, if there's a situation like this where you're just unsure, you know, I right there, I decide to go with my running back. Probably the wrong call. You can always try to take off with your quarterback, but, you know, to me, it is just one of those safer plays. If you have some time, typically against a 3-man rush, you will. You guys can go ahead and hit this crosser. I'm actually surprised why he's kind of, a vertical hook is almost like he's matching to him. Is that supposed to happen? I don't even know. Is that real? Anyway, I mean, I guess we're still able to fit it in. I mean, yo, what the hell is this? Why is that vertical hook playing like a madman? Anyway, still, we can still navigate around that, like we're saying. I mean, you know, if we try to step up here, you guys can always throw your slant. He does a good job getting open. That outside third just kind of peels up. If they want to play a hard flat, or if they want to play kind of underneath in cover 3, we'll be able to have, I'm sure, our tight end then. I don't think that vertical hook is going to match to him as aggressively. Yeah, if they're in a shaded underneath coverage. So, you know, just kind of, you know, explore and see how you guys want to run this. That was it against cover 3. Against the cover 4, it's going to look something like this. So again, same setup here, just the table and the flat. We'll try and hit our tight end here over the top. Right there is getting a little pressured. I had to kind of freeform it up. But, I mean, right there, I mean, Isaiah Simmons is kind of playing like crazy with the stock coverage. I really didn't know that the vertical hook would stretch that far to the sideline. But here is your slant. I'm sorry, I'm accidentally in cover 3 here. Let me go ahead and go back to cover 4 and show you guys the slant, and then we will talk about cover 2. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the next play. So again, here's cover 4. Snap the ball, and then just kind of, look for, our reads here. Right now, like I said earlier, guys, there's no KOs. So listen, I've been labbing as if there's no KOs just because that's where we're at right now. So, just kind of explore it. Let me know what you guys think of it. Just a play that I think is pretty safe for the most part. Here it is against cover 2 right here. Maybe we can try and fit in the streak. Not an option at all. If it was a hard flat, you could. But against cover 2, same setup. We're not changing anything just because we want to kind of provide that same look. Right there, running back gets wide open. Try and see right here. Those clouds want to stay up so high. We'll just go and hit underneath. So is it the best play in the game? Absolutely not. But I still feel like it's one of those safe plays where if we're unsure what to call, we're going to have multiple layers. And I'm telling you, I don't think in any game I've ever seen a vertical hook get that far to the sideline. So I really don't know. I'm going to shade underneath here, and typically the vertical hook is going to stay in that area of the field without kind of going inside, and you'll be able to throw this. So that's probably more what it's going to look like. Even if the purple plays up high, you can still just, freeform that upfield. I don't know why that vertical hook feels so obligated to match onto this crosser and go crazy. But still, it's a setup that I really like. I have success in it and wanted to put this in here. Against a 0, I wouldn't, like I said earlier, I wouldn't really call this because I obviously want some protection. But, if we have a misread or somebody is sending pressure, it's not the best play, but still the crosser, if he gets a step inside, he can get open. You're obviously going to have to watch out for the user. And then the slant. Obviously, slants are very easy to get user picked, but like I said earlier, it's an option. If you have to throw it or something like that, it can be there for you depending on what your opponent's playing. Right there, I accidentally had a misclick. I'll show this one more time, then we'll move on, try and get this video over with. I don't want to keep you guys for so long, but sometimes I just want to try to make sure all, our bases are covered. So right here against the slant, probably could have thrown a better ball. But, like I said, if you accidentally, call this play and they're sending pressure like that, you're still going to have a few quick throws you can make where you really shouldn't have that much of an issue. So that's it for Flood, guys. Like I said, is it the sexiest play? No, but, I like it. I wanted to have it in here on the guide because I know a lot of people will enjoy it as well, especially against zone. Very nice play where we have underneath and over the top options and a nice pulling route to help get our crosser open. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let's go ahead and move on to PA crosses. Alrighty guys, and before we wrap up this guide, I want to talk about PA crossers here out of the trips tight end. This is kind of going to be our deep attack play, kind of our big bomb play against multiple coverages. Setups are going to be different though, so please just make sure you guys skip through and watch each setup. We're going to start here against cover 2, and then we'll talk about cover 3 and cover 4. But to begin, PA crosses against cover 2, we're going to want our running back here on the short side of the field, so just like you guys see it here on the screen. Guys, all we're going to be doing for setup 1 is just streaking Y. And against cover 2, you're going to be set. So we're going to go ahead and snap the ball here. Going to go ahead and give ourselves some time and go ahead and attack with the deep post down the middle. Right there, could have held on a moment longer or just had a better free form. So we'll go ahead and run this back, snap the ball, try and buy yourself a little bit of time. And then you guys see nice little free form down and then kind of to the right where that safety to the right is fleeing. And we'll be able to have a nice play over the top. I think, guys, against cover 3, all we're going to be doing here is just streaking our B receiver, and then X, you guys can kind of put him on anything. You guys can put him on an in route. You guys can run a slant, a drag, kind of just something that's going to, stay low and underneath, probably more so like a drag or an in route. Running back is optional, but obviously since we're looking deep, I will most likely try to block him if I can. And then all we're going to do is just try and freeform our wide receiver upfield, kind of in between both thirds so he can get a good rack animation and try and make it to the end zone. So again, all you're going to do for cover 3 is just streak B. That's going to help keep the middle third down the middle. And this tight end on his corner route is obviously going to help keep this outside third to the sideline. So nice play, quick setup. And, like I said, your running back, you got to put him on whatever you want. It's completely up to you, whatever the opponent's doing on defense. If you guys want to put him on a table, that's fine. If you want to go ahead and actually manually block him, you can. But typically, just to keep things quick, I will go ahead and do a play action cancel. So that's it for cover 3. And now let's go talk about cover 4. Now, guys, for cover 4, all we're going to be doing here is putting our X receiver on a comeback. That's going to help pull down the outside quarter. We're going to go ahead and put B here on a corner route, and then we're going to go ahead and stem him upfield. Right now it's glitched because I have two controllers like I was saying earlier, but around this depth is what we're going to want. That way, when he keeps going on his streak, that's going to allow X to pull down the outside quarter, and then we can go ahead and freeform this upfield. Right there, he did begin to peel back, which means I was a little short on the stem, which can happen if you can't really see where it's going. So this is what we want, something like this right here at that length, and then when we go ahead and snap this ball, this was accidentally against a cover 3, but you guys see we're still going to be able to beat this here. And but you can do this against cover 3, it's just the other way is a little quicker. But this is what we're going to be looking for with the cover 4. So again, it's just a corner. We're going to stem him up around this depth, and then, you know, like so. Go ahead and snap this ball here. And you guys are going to see right here, this area of the field, that comeback is going to do a good job pulling that quarter down. And obviously the inside quarter isn't going to be able to play this corner out. So that's it against a cover 4 drop. Like I said, you can still put your running back on something. If you want to change it up and put B on something, you can, if you feel like that's going to keep the user at bay. You know, just beware of a switch stick with a play like this, just because that inside quarter is still in range to be clicked onto and make a play. So, you know, don't feel like these bombs are just absolute gimmies. The game has changed with the switch stick, and it just needs to be mentioned. So, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and cut here after the outro, just so you guys have the breakdown of the protection against the mid blitz in game. If you guys have any questions or if I missed something, please let me know in the comments or over on the Discord. Hopefully, you guys found this setup useful. If you need more, just let me know, and I can make a part 2 out of it. And yeah, boys, thanks again for the support. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one with some defense. See you boys soon. Peace.